Alright, hello everybody. This is Supplemental 3. This will be linear systems with not the substitution method. Instead, we're going to use the elimination method. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start off with two equations, and it's going to be 3x plus y equals 8. Okay. And that's standard form. And just to mix things up, I'm gonna do this one in not standard form, but just, a random form. 4x equals 6. And we can go ahead and look at where they're intersecting. I should probably zoom in. Okay, and the intersection looks to be at about why isn't it giving me -2 and 14. Okay, so let's go ahead and work that out in Word first. So this was linear systems solving by elimination method. Okay. Alright, so let's get to work. So we started off with I'll do it in y. 3x plus y equals 8. Okay. And then the other one was y plus 4x equals 6. Okay, so the most important part about doing elimination method is to get into standard form. And standard form, if you guys remember, is ax plus by equals c. And you can see this one is standard. See, you have a, which is 3, the x, the b is just a 1 since you can't see it, the y is just y, and the c would be 8. This one is backwards, right? So what we need to do is change it to standard form. And from commutativity, we know that we can just move things around, right? 4x plus y is the same thing as y plus 4x, so I'm going to change this. 4x plus y equals 6. And now we're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and move this over here so I can use elimination method. So elimination method, now I have 4x plus y equals 6. Okay, so elimination method, you want to be able to subtract parts off first. So what I noticed is that if I want to get rid of the x first, right, if I want to get rid of the x's first, you want to find their greatest common factor, right? And to find the greatest common factor, the trick to it would be to just multiply 3 times 4, and that comes from this 3 and this 4. And I said greatest common factor, didn't I? What I really meant is least common denominator. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I want to make this 12, and to get to 12 I need to multiply this by 4. So if I'm gonna multiply this by 4, that means I have to multiply this whole thing by 4. If I'm gonna get this thing to be 12, I need to multiply this whole thing by 3. Okay, now they're gonna match up a little nicer. 4 times 3 gives me 12. x plus 4y is equal to 32. And now the other one, I multiply through 12x plus 3y equals 18. Alright, now we're going to do the elimination part, and this is basically just like subtraction. So imagine that you're subtracting off everything in order. So you have 12x minus 12x, that gives you 0. Okay, so all your x's are gone now. Now you have 4y minus 3y, and that gives you a positive 1y. 32 minus 18, well, that gives you 14. And from this elimination method, now we know that y is equal to 14. And this is kind of an easier example. Sometimes you'll be left with like negative y, or half a y, or 5y, and you can just simply solve it. The most important part is you're getting rid of this x, so the x disappears into 0, right? And then that way you get the y. Once you have the y value, you have half of the answer, and you can go ahead and figure out the rest of the answer by either plugging it back into this one or into this one. And you can choose to keep this 3 in there and like multiply it through, and you can either plug it back into this one because it'll be the same thing, or you can plug it back into this one. Okay, so ultimately the easiest one would probably be one of the top twos. The harder ones would be the bottom two, but realize that they're both the same line. Okay, so I'm gonna plug it into the easier one. It would be 3x plus y. Well, y is really 14, right? Because I plugged it in. I'm using the first one, by the way. Okay, using this one. Okay, 3x plus 14 is equal to 8. Let me hurry up and finish this. Subtract 14, both sides. That gives me 3x is equal to negative 6, and x is equal to negative 2. Alright, so now I have my x and y, and I have x equals negative 2, and let me write that in a coordinate pair, negative 2, comma 14. Okay, and that's our solution from elimination, negative 2, comma 14. And we can go ahead and look at Desmos, and if you look at it right there, there's negative 2, comma 14. And remember, this wasn't in standard form, so I switched it to standard form. All I did was just, instead of y plus 4x, I put 4x plus y equals 6. And notice that it's the same line. This green line and this blue line are the same. You always want things in standard form. So if you guys remember standard form, it's always gotta be ax plus by equals c, and it'll make things a lot easier. And that's it for this time. Sorry it's a lengthier video, but it's a longer process. Alright, bye.